Hello, it's some dust or something. I'm here today to start a new series that I'm going to be calling Path of Titans 101. This is going to be a group of videos designed to help new players, players that have been away for a while, or maybe even people that play the game a lot but could use a refresher or someone else's point of view in their gameplay. We're going to start from the very beginning here. I'm going to make a video on how to grow your dinosaur and kind of give you some tips on how to be successful. Hopefully this video helps you, and if it does, be sure to check out the other ones I will be uploading. First of all, we're right here at the dinosaur screen, the selection screen, and I figured the best way to go about starting this video would be by making a new dinosaur. So we're going to go to the bottom here, and we are going to make a Despleto, which is the only dinosaur that I have not grown on Pangera. So we're going to name him Dust. Let's go with male, and then I think we're good to go. So after you make your dino, you're going to end up here in the tutorial cave. I'm not going to make you watch me go through the entire tutorial. All you need to know is while you're in here, you're in no danger. Other dinosaurs can run up and attack you all they want, but they can't really do anything to you. So I'm going to get through all of this, and then I will meet back up with you guys. Alright, so I just made it out of the tutorial cave, and I am ready to start my journey. I'm just a little juvie right now, so this is the most vulnerable I will be for the entirety of this game, basically. Now, Path of Titans does not give you passive growth, at least not on official servers. So it's not like the Isle where you're just going to hide in a bush somewhere until you're an adult. In this game, it's actually a very involved process growing your dinosaur. You get growth by doing quests, and you can see I already have a bunch of quests lined up over here, and the more quests you complete, the more this bar over here, this little yellow bar, is going to spread across. And when it gets all the way to the end, I go up to the next stage. The good news is, for every stage you complete, so for example, if I finish this whole bar in Juvie and got to the adolescent stage, I could not be knocked back down to Juvie by being killed a lot. I am forever an adolescent. And that's for pretty much every stage up until adult. But first, let me kind of go over the 5 stages. There is hatchling, juvenile, adolescent, subadult, and full adult. Now, the only stage you can get knocked back at is full adult. And if you die as an adult, you'll respawn as a subadult with like half of this last bar here missing. So you do a few quests, you get that back up. There are a few different types of quests. You can see over here I have mostly blue quests, but there are blue, there are red, there are green, and there are yellow. The blue quests are location quests. They are things like Home Cave and Waystone, which everybody gets as a fresh juvie. These give you an exceptional amount of growth if you do these, so I like to do them right away, and we'll get to that in a second. But blue can also be location quests, like it says here, find the Northwest Waystone. So if I go to my map, and I look for the little star mark, it's right here. So if I get my character to that blue mark, I will automatically complete that quest. I also have a hunt critter quest here. It says kill 3 Paleosaniwa. Now, those are quests that only carnivores are going to get. Obviously, if you're a Herbie, it's not going to ask you to hunt critters. So for those, you will go to dens or burrows, which, again, it should pop up on my map somewhere. But basically, there are burrows all over the map, and you can dig in them, and a little AI dinosaur will run out, and you can hunt it and kill it. Now, I also have a red quest. These are the most common if you're a solo player. These are going to be things like collecting pine cones, acorns, lychees, branches, lakeweed. The list goes on and on. It's just collecting materials or delivering materials most of the time. And then there are green quests, which are group quests, and you only get those from joining a group. And the good thing about those is, instead of saying like collect 50 pine cones, it would say like collect 150. The numbers in those are much, much higher. So if you can join a group, especially a group with a lot of adults, that way they'll let you do most of it. That's a really good way to grow too. And the last quest type are yellow quests, which are trophy delivery quests and eating quests. So for example, if I let my hunger down here get down below the little stomach icon and start getting down here, I would get a yellow quest that says find and eat food. And once your bar fills back up above the stomach icon, it completes that quest. Some people even pick metabolisms that drain faster just to farm that quest specifically. And then trophies are items that are only dropped by subadult and adult dinosaurs. And when you get a trophy, you can take it to your home cave, and you get a few things for doing that. But the biggest thing is you get a ton of growth. But so I'm a fresh baby here, and I just went over the basics of questing. So what do I do? Well, a lot of people will save these 2 quests here for after they've already filled a majority of their bar. But I like getting them out of the way right away. So what I like to do is I spawn in, and I have the Waystone in the home cave. The Waystone you can find on your map by looking for these green leaf things. And the great news is I also have a location quest right by it. So the first thing I'm going to do is swing over there and get that Waystone. And then I'm going to head south and go to my home cave so that I can knock that one out too. Now, you can do them in any order, really. You know, if the home cave's closer to your initial spawn, you might want to do that and then the Waystone. But I like doing it this way, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But I'll be back in just a second. Let me get over there. Okay, so I'm coming up on the Waystone now. If you're brand new to the game, you may not know what these do, but that's okay. It's going to give you a tutorial. Essentially, this is a way that you can teleport other players to you instead of having to run all over the map looking for each other. But Waystones are kind of these big painted glowing rocks. They also have a sound that's very hard to miss. And for this quest, all you have to do is run up to it and interact with it. So you can see it's orange, and that's because a big group just used it. I actually passed them on my way here, but so you're going to come up to it, you're going to interact, it's going to give you a little tutorial, and that's that. Now, the Waystone and the home cave finding quests are the only quests, to my knowledge, that automatically start giving you experience. For the rest of them, you have to go to this little quest tab here and actually collect the reward, which will give you marks. Marks are kind of the game's currency, as well as a set amount of growth, but we'll get to that later. For now, I'm going to go to my home cave, so see you in a minute. Okay, so this is what home caves generally look like. It's a cave, and you can enter it either by interacting with this rock with the blue home cave symbol on it, or just by running straight in. So when you enter, you're going to get a portion of the completion of the quest just for coming in, but to finish the home cave introduction quest, you're going to want to go to this second rock and just go through the little, tutorial there. Now, that gives you a lot of growth, and I would recommend hanging out in your cave while that growth is ticking down, because nothing can kill you while you're in your cave. The reason that's important is because when you die, you lose marks and you lose some growth. So if I were to die right now, it would probably take me back here somewhere, and I'd also lose some of my marks. I only have 90, but you can use those to get abilities and skins and stuff. Speaking of abilities, I just bought a tail attack, so I'm going to throw that on. The home cave is the only place where you can edit your abilities, by the way. And what a lot of people will do, now that this new quest system is up, is they'll save up a whole bunch of quests like this, and then go to their home cave and pop them all at once, and then just chill and wait for them all to fill up. Not a bad idea, really not. So I think that's what I'm going to do for this guy anyway. So I'm just going to let him finish growing here, and then I will get into the next part of this video. So now you might find yourself in a position where you don't have any red quests over here. You've run out of quests and you're thinking, okay, what do I do? Where do I go to get more quests? Well, if you look above my mini-map here, there is no name. You can only get quests and zones that actually have a name, so I'll show you what I mean. Right now, I am right by Grassland Crater, which is not a good place for a baby. Not at all. I might die while I'm making this video, but that's okay. I'm going to run right over here, and when you enter, that name's going to pop up right above my mini-map, and it's going to give me some red quests. So that should be right around here. It'll pop up. Yeah, Grassland Crater. And you can see now I have pine cones and milk cap mushrooms. So every area kind of has different quests depending on what resources are available there. And they also have like different numbers. Some areas you go into will only have like one quest for you to do. Other areas might have a couple. This area, for example, has 2 fairly large gathering quests, but that's pretty much it. And so that's kind of the deal with zones. And they're not really labeled on the map. So to find questing zones, you're going to have to kind of look around. I am going to make a video talking about different places. Good places to grow, good places to farm marks, good places to avoid players, to find players. I'm going to do a whole video on that. So if you're interested, make sure to hang around the channel for a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much how those zones work. And then it already teaches you how to collect in the intro tutorial cave, so I'm not going to go into that too much. But essentially, I'm just going to run around and do these real quick and start saving up some growth. Another thing you'll notice about these questing zones is when you finish all of the available quests, you will run out of quests in that area for a little bit. So right now I'm about to finish up this quest. If I can find one more flower, just one flower here. Doesn't have to be a particularly pretty flower, but it does have to have petals. Did I really not leave any? Alright, my bad. Here's one. So I'm going to collect this, and you're going to see the red quest disappear. Now, since I have done every quest in this area doesn't have anything else to give me, but that's okay, because they will respawn after a little bit. You might not want to wait around that long. In fact, a lot of people will do what they call like circuits, or like just like grinding routes, and basically what it is hopping between questable areas. And so I would finish with this one, for example, and then I would run to a nearby area, do the quest there, maybe go to one more, do the quest there, and then I'd come back up, and these would be pretty close to refreshing. You can, if you really want to, you can just chill in an area and wait for the quest to come around, but you'll probably grow faster if you stay on the move. But just another thing I figured I'd mention, because I see a lot of questions asked about why people aren't getting quests, and this is the #1 reason why. I also wanted to mention, for the carnivores, there are multiple different types of AI critters you can hunt from these burrows, and they just recently in this update changed it and made it a lot easier for us. See, it used to be, it was kind of random what came out of the burrows, but now every burrow has a specific critter attached to it. So if you see these marks above a burrow, that means it has the critter you're looking for. So it says over here, my quest is Paleosaniwa. Those are like these big lizard guys that kind of look like Megs. And so when I interact with this and I spook the little critter out, it's going to be one of those lizard guys. You can see I already killed one. I got lucky because Grassland Critter apparently has 2 Paleosaniwa burrows. So here's this guy, and I'm just going to run over. These guys are really easy to kill. You can one-shot them. They're great. But I wanted to point that out too. So if you're trying to do these quests, you just look for the burrows that have these 3 scratch marks above them. In fact, I think there's a burrow over here that when I go over to it, there shouldn't be any scratch marks because there will be a different critter inside of it. Alright, so I'm back at my cave, did a little bit of questing, and now it's time to reap the fruits of my labor. So I'm going to go to the quest tab, and I am just going to collect all of these. You can see my marks going up to the side. And now that I've collected them all, you can see all of this little darker yellow portion of the growth bar just got filled in. Growth in this game is measured by time. I meant to mention that earlier. So this little timer will appear whenever you are currently growing. And this bar will fill up while this timer is going down. Anytime you collect a quest, that'll give you a bit of a timer. A lot of ways to grow really quickly. The biggest one is probably trophy delivery. Taking a trophy to your home cave, as I said, is a great way to grow. It gives you something like 3 minutes of growth, which is crazy. Like you see there for all those quests I just did, it gave me like 2 minutes and some change. So trophies are a fantastic way to grow. I think they give you like a full portion. The problem is you only get trophies from relatively grown dinosaurs, subadult or adult, which can be difficult to downright impossible as a juvenile to kill one for yourself. You can give other players trophies, though, by setting the trophy on the ground down in front of another dinosaur. It will despawn if it's left there for too long, so you want to get to it pretty quickly. And some dinosaurs will use trophies as bait to lure young dinos in to be killed, unfortunately. But then there are players like me. You know, most of my dinosaurs are adults, and I don't spend much time in my home cave, so I don't really have too much of a use for trophies, and a lot of times after I have a good fight with someone, I'll give the trophy to a juvie. So you can look out for that as well. Those are always fantastic. And I mentioned group quests earlier. When you group with people and you get those green quests that have a ton of different objectives to do, the more of that quest you do, the more growth you get. The growth is distributed depending on who did what amount of work. So, for example, if you're in a group of 2 and you do 100% of the work, then you will get 100% of the growth. And if you are in a group of 2 and you each do 50%, then you'll split 50% of the growth. And that's why it's really nice as a baby to group with an adult dinosaur or a group of adult dinosaurs that will let you do all of the questing, because you will grow super, super fast. There is one more tip I want to get into real quick, and for that we're going to have to switch dinos. Luckily I've got a few that are ready to show this off. But there is something called a home cave well-rested bonus. So let me find... There's Alma. So I'm going to hop in, and Alma's been chilling in my home cave, and you'll notice my growth bar down here isn't yellow anymore, it's purple. And that's because I have this little sleeping dino bonus. And basically what that is when you log out inside of your home cave, over time it will generate this bonus, which gives you increased growth. So if I do a quest as Alma right now, I will get extra growth. I'll grow extra fast until it reaches the end of that bar. And the limit for this buff, I think, is it takes 12 hours to get to the limit. And once you do, it gives you a full bar of improved growth. So I think you start earning it at like an hour. So say you log off on your dino, you leave them in the home cave for an hour, you get back on, you'll have a little bit of purple. You know, you do a quest and it'll fill up faster. But for Alma here, I haven't played her since yesterday, so she's got the full bar ready to go. I don't know if I have any quests near me right now that are near enough that I can do them without having to put a halt on the video. But yeah, essentially if I do any quest with her right now, that's going to fill up faster. So I highly, highly recommend, no matter if it's a hassle or not, to log your dinosaurs out in your home cave before you hop off of them. You know, when you get off for the night or whatever, definitely try to log out your babies in the home cave. For adults, it doesn't matter as much, other than just being a safer way to do things. But for the babies, it can really help. You can even grow multiple babies at a time by alternating. So you leave like 3 different species or whatever in the home cave, and then the next day you get on, you do all the quests with one, you switch to another, you do all the quests with that one, you switch to the other, and you can get a lot of growth on a lot of dinos really fast. So that's definitely a tip I wanted to mention there too. Well, alright guys, I think that about does it for the growth system in Path of Titans. I just want to leave you with one last bit of advice, coming from someone who has spent way too much time in this game, and has grown a lot of dinos playing solo on official servers. Just be careful, you know, take your time. If you have headphones, I highly recommend using them and listening for footsteps. They'll let you know what's going on around you way before you have to deal with it. You know, obviously keep an eye on your food and water. I'm going to have a whole video on, you know, finding food and water and finding resources for quests, and I plan on really getting in deep with all the details of this game. But if you take your time and you're careful, you keep an ear out, you know, you hide in bushes if something's around you, and you wait for them to finish up their questing before you come out of the open, you know, just understand this is a survival PvP game, and some people really love that part of it. So I really wouldn't rely on the graciousness of other players very often. But if you're careful and you take your time and you're sneaky and you're quick until you're big enough to defend yourself, then I think you should be just fine with whatever dinosaur you want to play. But that's about it. That's about it for growing in Path of Titans. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this was educational. I hope it was entertaining. I just hope you liked it. And yeah, what more can I say? Thanks for watching, and have a great day.